In this video, I'm going to go over how I would go over these first two steps of starting to write my first body paragraph. So the first step here is actually choosing my assertion here. So again, in your thesis, you should have two assertions or reasons why that support your thesis. So let's say I was either going with the argument that the American Revolution was not revolutionary, or that it was both revolutionary in some ways but not in others. But let's say one of my reasons for either of those theses, one of my assertions was that Native Americans or indigenous people were not treated fairly and didn't receive anything new from the American Revolution. So first, I would remember back to my thesis, which I had written yesterday, and I would type that in my own words here in this box as kind of like, again, a topic sentence. That's what your assertion is the topic sentence telling the reader, this is what this paragraph is going to be about. So here, I'll start typing in the box my assertion or topic sentence for my paragraph. Say, one reason the American Revolution was not revolutionary was because Native Americans, remember to capitalize it, were treated unfairly and did not receive anything new from the new US. A little longer, but overall, your assertion should just be one sentence. It tells your reader what this body paragraph is going to be about, and remember, it has to support to and connect your thesis. So after I have that thesis assertion connection here, I'm going to go look for some evidence from the texts that actually support this argument that Native Americans were not treated fairly and did not receive anything new from the US government. So I'm going to go back to my good old handy dandy sources packet, which again, remember, is in lesson 28. You can find it and should have coded and highlighted this already. I did a few of these as an example, not all of them. But let's say I'm going through here and I'm like, all right, I'm talking about Indians or Native Americans, indigenous people. And I see here that document 4 and document 5 both have to deal with those. So now I'm looking and saying, which one gives the best piece of evidence? And again, I'm eventually going to have to use 2, so I'm going to use more than one. But let's say for this first one here, I go back to where I've already coded here, this text called the Iroquois Confederacy. And I'm like looking through and see, oh, they already practiced democracy before they lived in North America. That means this new form of government wasn't new. And again here, some historians argue that the structure of America's own system of democratic government, the concept of having a constitution, in addition to having 3 branches of government and checks and balances, were borrowed from the Iroquois. That shows me, going back to my assertion, that they did not receive anything new from the US government. They already had democracy. It wasn't a new thing for them. So I'm going to copy this here into the box here. And then I'm going to make it one big quote. It's kind of a large quote. You don't have to have one that big. But then, of course, I'm going to make sure to get rid of the actual highlighting. And there I go. I have my assertion and my first piece of evidence.